Hi, this is Ken. This spiritual video is called What Happens When We Awaken. Before I discuss what happens when we awaken, we need to go back to the very beginning. When we are first conceived with the embryo, a spirit, a piece of God joins every life that connects each of us together. Not only human life, but all forms of life. And this piece of God, the spirit, our higher self, our soul, whatever name you wish to give it, is the reason we are alive, is to understand that there is a piece of God within every person that connects each of us together equally. But when we are born, our ego forms. And what our ego is everything that we learn and accept to be true during our life. Very often, many of our opinions, beliefs, prejudices are formed in the first 5 years of our life as we are indoctrinated into society from what our parents believe, our religion, depending on the part of the world that we live in, the color of our skin, or any of millions or thousands, rather, of other comparisons that we may make. Very often, when the ego forms, it becomes dominant in our life, in that our decisions and our beliefs and our prejudices are formed, and we believe what we learn. We therefore believe that success in life has to do with getting a good education, making a lot of money, becoming wealthy, famous, uh, having many material things, being able to do all the good things that in life that we would like to do. We often believe that the color of our skin is better than the color of someone else's skin. And that makes us dominant because the ego's only concern is what is best for us and building up our belief in ourself and our importance in ourself. But with the development of the ego and its dominance, what happens is though the peace of God, the spirit, is still present within us, its voice, its messages that it is trying to communicate with us are muted. And therefore, we don't hear the messages of unconditional love, of how we are all connected, all equal, and that our purpose in life is to share the meaning and the love that is present within each of us selflessly, unselfishly, with all others, to help everyone thrive during their life. We go through life, most people never hearing the messages from their spirit. Their spirit is walled up within them, holding back, trying to communicate with you and trying to get through your egoistic beliefs so that you will hear what your true purpose in life is. It has nothing to do, the purpose and meaning of life, with what we believe it to be from our egoistic teachings. When there may reach a point in your life, and it very often does, even if you are wealthy, successful in life, have many nice material possessions, and have accomplished all the goals in your life, that you start to feel a little bit uneasy, that you don't, that something doesn't feel right, even though you've accomplished all the goals in your life and you're doing well and you have a very good job and more than enough money to live and have lots of material possessions to make your life easier. There's an uneasy feeling within you. And what that feeling comes from is from the spirit, from the peace of God that is within you, as the first inklings, the first cracks that are containing the spirit, the messages from the peace of God present within each of us that connects each life equally together are beginning to be heard. That is what an awakening is. It is the first hint that there is more to life than just what we learned. And it is coming from the peace of God that is present within each of us. Once you awaken, you may never return back to sleep. And by that, what I mean is completely accepting the views that you were taught about what life is truly about. If you accept everything that you learned, as the great majority of people do in the world, what you learned of success is making money, becoming famous, material possessions, and all the other things, and you accept the prejudicial beliefs that you have that certain people are better than other people because of the color of their skin, their wealth, their ethnicity, or any other comparisons at all. If you accept that, all those things, then you remain asleep. And though you may be successful in life, when you approach death, you will not have learned the true purpose of your life, which is to accept the spiritual unconditional love that is present within each, sharing that equally, selflessly with all others to make sure everyone thrives in life. So once you awaken, everything in your life will change. You no longer can go back to the way things were. You no longer can go back asleep, accepting everything that you learned. And when this begins to happen, you begin to question if success in life truly is making a lot of money and having material possessions and all the other things that you began to learn. And as you're around people who remain asleep, accepting all of those things, you find that you have much less in common with them than you once did. And many of your relationships, including your friends, your coworkers, even your spouse and those closest to you, begin to change as well, as they haven't awoken and they remain asleep. And the views that they are espousing of certain people being better than other people, the justification for war, or ignoring people who are homeless or starving, or the causes of climate change, or any of the other many problems caused by humanity's inconsideration for each other and their acceptance of their learned views, you find that you have much less in common with them because your views are beginning to change. As you begin to embrace the spiritual views, the peace of God that is within, that is unconditional love, selflessly shared with all, you begin to divert. You begin to choose a different path through life. You begin to reevaluate not only all your relationships, but you may begin to reevaluate the marriage that you're in, especially if your spouse remains asleep. You may begin to evaluate the job that you have, even though it may pay good money and it may make you very comfortable. If it's a job where you're hurting other people or you're not helping other people, you may reevaluate. And at this point in your life, and sometimes it happens during middle age, though it can happen at any age whatsoever, and people may call it a midlife crisis, you may decide to change professions, even find a profession that pays less money, so you will not have as many things, but one that involves helping other people. That is what an awakening is. It is what happens after you awaken and begin to hear the messages from your spirit that have been muted throughout your life. Your spirit starts to take more control of your life, of the future that you choose. And you begin to divest yourself of many of your egoistic prejudices once held, and find yourself distancing yourself from who are not on the same path as you are or have no interest in pursuing improving themselves. So what happens is everything in your life changes. And you may, like I said, you may have pursue a new job. Your relationships with old friends may differ as you make new friends who are beginning to awaken or have awoken and are on this new path of spirituality. As you progress along the path toward enlightenment, and what enlightenment is the complete acceptance of the spiritual path through life. And though the ego will always remain with each of us, even those people who are enlightened, as it takes a much lower importance in your life, it becomes insignificant. And you follow, as you completely follow the spiritual path in life, what happens then is tremendous growth and understanding as to the true meaning of life. Those who become enlightened, and there really are not that many. If you look at Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, perhaps Rumi, and others who have truly reached a point where they have completely accepted the spiritual path through life, that any egoistic beliefs have such an infinitesimal influence on them, the possibilities that offers when you live a life of spirituality, of sharing your love selflessly and helping all others, opens a new door of possibilities. If you've read perhaps Masters of the Far East or some of the miracles of some of the great religious prophets, you will find that they can heal others with their spirit, connecting with the spirit of another who is hurt or has disabilities. They can create food and share their love with other people and create what we consider to be miracles, but are really the full embrace of spirituality and accepting it completely into your life. Now, there are those who awaken and get glimpses of enlightenment, but yet are drawn back and do not remain enlightened. For those, what happens is that though they understand what enlightenment is, they have not fully embraced it, that their egoistic beliefs still have some control over their life, for they still accept some of those beliefs. Some of the beliefs that may have to do with money or anything else. If you have not completely accepted the spiritual path, then when things happen in your life that upset you, that you begin to question yourself or other people, where you may not fully accept everyone else because somebody has done something to harm you. When that happens, you are drawn back through the door where you are enlightened, back into the egoistic world where the upset that has caused you to be upset is influencing you again. And very often, as you progress along the path to spirituality and toward enlightenment, this begins to happen less and less until you fully accept the enlightened path, the path of the Spirit, the peace of God that is within of our higher self, and you completely share it selflessly with all others, with little concern for what's best for you, but only concern for what is best for everyone. It does not take money or prestige or a very good job to become enlightened. Someone who is poor, homeless, struggling through their life, a minority living in a poor country, anyone can become enlightened. All it takes is the complete acceptance of our true purpose in life, which is accept the spiritual, loving, selfless path of the peace of God that is within us, that connects us all together, helping all others in their journey through life to thrive as well. This is Ken with another spiritual video.